Why did the Dallas Cowboys trade Micah Parsons, one of the best players in the NFL? Was it because he was hard to deal with? Was it because he wasn't a leader? Was it because he wasn't a culture fit? If you think any of these statements are true, then I'm sorry, you've fallen for the trap. What people need to understand about the Dallas Cowboys is they are obsessed with attention. So good, bad, and all in between. That's what the Cowboys care about, attention. But a thing that a lot of people ignore and they don't talk about is that the Cowboys run a lot of media interference. But you won't hear peep about it from anyone. All the other teams, they'll you won't hear peep, then boom, huge contract, all's good. But with the Dallas Cowboys, you have all these talking heads because the goal is to wear the players out and get them to agree to whatever lowball offer the Dallas Cowboys are presenting. And again, they've been doing this for years. So what I'm saying isn't something that people don't know. They just pretend to they just ignore it and pretend like it's not a thing because they want to be in the good graces of Jerry. But the dangerous thing about doing business this way is that every contract negotiation with the star player becomes personal. You make it personal by initiating interference with the media that way. And I don't care what anyone says. The last two major contracts, Dak and CD, were personal. Those guys' characters were attacked, and in the end, Jerry still paid them their money. Now enters in Micah Parsons. Everyone and their mama said, pay this man early because if you don't, things could get bad. Because again, if you give players leverage, he will use it as he should. But the problem with that is that he's your best player on the team. And another issue with that, with Michael Parsons, is I think he has a similar personality to Jerry Jones, which isn't a good mesh. Dak, for the most part, was quiet. CD, outside a few tweets and things, was quiet. But Micah is a whole different ball game altogether. He will play the media games with Jerry. And for the most part, things were going well until Micah backed out of that handshake deal. And I have a quick comment on that. I get sick and tired of people blaming Micah for backing out of a handshake deal. Micah took that deal that he agreed upon with Jerry back to his agent. And they're like, nah, we're not doing it this way. Because one, why are you trying to do deals with a player with his agent not involved? You expect Micah to say, okay, I'm good with the numbers. Let me take it to my agent. Agent has to sign off on it because his best interest is you. Jerry's best interest is saving money. But nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about that. Micah has no obligation to sign a deal based on a handshake. And if he did, that's stupid. There's nothing wrong with anyone that tells you, and anybody that tells you that's wrong, I'm sorry, is a bootlicker for the Cowboys front office. I'm sorry. There is nothing wrong with backing out on a handshake deal. It's different when you sign the contract. then there's nothing you could do. He didn't sign a contract. You're not obligated to anything. Because if Jerry were to do the same thing, nobody would blink an eye. You know what you would tell Micah if Jerry did that same thing? Oh, it's just business. But with Micah, it's not just business. But if Jerry did it, it's just business. You see the game that people try to play when it comes to players. Jerry tried to get one up on him. And once he realized it, Micah smartened up. The problem with that scenario is that what Micah did is considered betrayal to an 80 or 82-year-old. For me, that's being smart. In the NFL, nothing is guaranteed, and people pretend like a handshake deal didn't come with some crazy stipulations. Because even if they agreed upon it, say Micah did agree upon it, nobody talks about what the details were. They only talk about, Jerry offered the highest non-quarterback deal. Jerry guaranteed the most money for a non-quarterback at that position. But they don't tell you what stipulations were there. Because you can handshake a deal on the numbers, but the saying is the devil's in the details. That handshake deal means nothing if that contract can void all the money for stupid reasons, or there's clauses that make it easy for them to take that money away from you. But again, people want to pretend like it isn't a thing. There could have been clauses that kept Micah Parsons from having a podcast, but you don't know. You don't know, and people are not going to tell you. Jerry's smart enough; he's not going to tell you the details. All he's going to tell you is he backed out. That's it. We shook hands and he backed out. Plus, we don't know if his money was tied to 5 to 6 years. That would have made it difficult for Parsons to get another contract while he's still in his prime. I think of it as a car sales. I used to sell cars back in the day. And the number one thing you don't go into negotiations saying is your price. So if I go to a car dealership and say, I want this car to cost $350 a month, any dealership can make that number work. But what they do is they stretch it out long. So $70,000 vehicle, you say you want your payment to be $350 a month, they'll just make it a 10-year. So you're locked into that car for 10 years. And the interest you're going to pay on that loan, they don't care because you signed the contract. Your payment's $350 though, but for 10 years. People don't think of contracts that way because most fans don't care. They just sign the deal. Whatever they offer you, sign it. Who cares about what you want? Who cares about what your family wants? Sign the deal because I just want you to play. And that's the game that the Cowboys use against players, is they know the fandom doesn't care about details because they can sell you on whatever sounds good. But again, we don't talk about that. Like I said, we don't know the details. Too many people decide out of nowhere that Micah is the bad guy. And the organization, again, will keep capitalizing on it when they want guys to sign lowball offers. I saw it with Dak. People tend to forget. Franchise tagged him 2 times. Could have got him cheaper. You decided not to. Saw it with CD. Wait till the last minute. I saw it with too many Cowboys for me to believe anything that this front office says about the players and negotiations. For me, timing is everything. If you felt this strongly about Micah, then you wouldn't have waited till a week before the season is about to start to move him. Also, now the narrative is being pushed that it helps the Cowboys stop the run, which feeds into the narrative that the Cowboys with Micah Parsons couldn't stop the run, so why pay him? Forget about the Cowboys not trying to stop the run because it's not paramount. All they care about is rushing the passer. That's how they build their rosters. But now it's Micah's fault for why we can't stop the run. Dan Quinn, the guy that all these Cowboys people put up here just because he went to a conference championship. Nobody talks about that conference championship where he got smacked because they couldn't stop the run. The Commanders were still a bad run defense team. Their offense was able to offset it. They don't talk about that. And what makes these things about worse with the Mike situation is the film proves that that's not true. But sadly, a huge chunk of Cowboys Nation will believe the stupidity. And they'll use that against him and say, good, let's sell this trade and bring up the fact that we want to get better at run defense. We did nothing in the offseason to get better at run defense. They traded Micah Parsons based on emotion. We got 2 first-round picks and D-tackle Kenny Clark. Could have got way more. They didn't get there. They don't care. It's all a game. They let go of their top player, didn't get multiple 2s, didn't get multiple 3s, didn't get a king's ransom from one of the top players in the NFL. Cowboys played their cards wrong. They couldn't wait any longer because if Micah went into the season not playing, teams would have offered even less than what the Packers were offering. Or they would have just waited till the relationship got so bad that now you just want to get rid of them. To an extent, that's what happened. That's what happens when you do things last minute, which the Cowboys have a history of doing. But keep believing the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons to make the team better. That just doesn't work. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We are relying on unproven edges to match Micah's production instead of paying the man and making the team even better. Because keeping your guy, who's one of the top players, is what keeps your team good. And you're risking it, hoping one of these guys develops, which I don't care what anyone says, is stupid. Cowboys did something similar with Amari Cooper. Instead of building around the talent, we trade and reset, hoping our guys can ball out. And by the way, how did that Amari Cooper trade work out? Oh, wait. We had to go and get George Pickens because the Cowboys couldn't draft a good wide receiver ever since. And oh, did you see Michael Gallup? He just got cut. Oh, okay. One good year. That's that's the front office that a lot of people trust will do the right thing with these picks. I'm sorry, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid like some of y'all weirdos. Plain and simple. We didn't have to trade Micah. And if you felt this way about him, it should have been done before the draft. But again, what do I know?